ماشي سويت قلت ماشي accept current participant. My name is Hazik. My name is Hazik Nasir Khan, and I will be your host for this webinar. So I will share just my screen first.
Maybe I need to give you the permission. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So this webinar is dedicated to guide you for studying in Europe. And we have different sessions, different talks on each subject. So this webinar will be, there is an outline for this webinar. So we have 4 speakers in total. We have Mushirul Haq, who is a student, a PhD student at the University of Toulouse. He will be giving his talk for the master's applications and scholarships. Then we have our second speaker, our brother Waqaruddin Siddiqui. His topic will be specific to the PhD applications. Then we have Asif Raza. He will give talk on the management of expenses, how to handle the finance situations. And then at the end, me, Hazik Nasir Khan, I will be giving a talk on ethics and life in Europe. So I think without any further delay, I would like to give the desk to our first speaker, Mushirul Haq, and I will let him share his slides with us. Mashir, the stage is yours.
Okay, can just just wait a minute. Okay, is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, this is.
Okay. So my name is Mashirul Haq, and I'm going to give you the overview of general, the how to apply for some different scholarships and what's the application overview. And for me, the main focus will be on French university applications. So coming to my introduction, this is like for the academic, my academic background. So I have completed my bachelor's honors in chemistry from Aligarh Muslim University, India, with a CGP of 7.9. So I have just shown here the CGP to tell you that we were also, like I was also an average student, so we do not have like, that much excellent grades. And after that, I got this Smarts Up scholarship. Like actually, it was known as MIEM before. Now it has been replaced with Smarts Up to do my Master Frontiers in Chemistry from Université Paris Cité. And also, as part of our master this curriculum, we have to do one internship. So it was for 5 months. So I'm just showing it here to let you know that that the internship is paid. So like in order to manage your expenses, this is a good option. And right now I'll be starting my PhD at University Toulouse from 1st November, hopefully. And also I have got a stipendium Hungaricum scholarship from Hungarian government. So, but I did not join this for it was a fully funded scholarship to do my master's at Ithos Loran University. So I have just mentioned it here to let you know, so that you can ask questions, so I can answer them regarding this scholarship. So before further delay, we are going to start our main topic. So if you are dreaming of studying abroad, but you have no idea how to do it, so here we go. So you just for this, you only need a laptop and a good internet connection, because all of the applications it will be like online, so you do not need to do anything else. And there is like one more plus point, that most of the applications are free. So this means like you do not have any application fees. So because right now we are talking about Europe, for example, if you are applying to some USA universities, so you just need like $50, $75, like that, for to submit your application. So before applying to any university or any application, you just you just need some documents first. And the first one is the application form. And second one is the academic transcript. It's the equivalent to your what's known as mark sheets. And certificate of English proficiency test is like IELTS, TOEFL, but for the French applications in general, this is not that much required. You can only take the English proficiency language certificate from your university. And the photocopies of your passport, statement of purpose, maybe it will be discussed by in little detail by Wakaruddin, and 2 reference letters. So these reference letters are generally from your academic supervisors of your internships or some professors, and your DOB, and this is only for some administrative purpose, and the CV and some experience letters. So here I have added like one slide for masters in Europe in general. There are around like 40 above countries in the European Union. So here to narrow down your niche, we have just selected few countries which you can target. And here in green, I have shown France and Italy, because in France, as per my experience, there are like scholarships in every university, and also the if someone is coming on self-finance, the tuition fees is not that high. And also for the Italian scholarships, they are giving some regional scholarships as well. So this means like you can manage your expenses. And also there are some good universities, like very high ranking universities, like University of Helsinki, Aalto in Finland, where they give some partial scholarship, like around 70%, by which like if you can make it to the selection list, they will give you some partial scholarship by which you can manage your expense. Like it's also a very good option to target. And also Hungary, and for now the main scholarship which is financing the studies in Hungary is this one, that's Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, and it's very common because and very famous one, because it accepted a lot of applications, around 200 students. So I have here given some useful links, like how you can apply for example, for Germany, we have this portal, Finland, Italy, and Hungary. And you can also contact with some persons there. For example, if you have some questions, maybe he will be here in this session, that's Abid Hassan, and for the Italian scholarships and Italian universities. And for the Stipendium Hungaricum scholarship, you can follow AMUSO Facebook page. And if you need to, like, first of all, you just need to look for some different you just need to choose your university, you need to choose your course, and for that I will suggest you to use this website, that's the master's portal. And now coming directly to French universities, so we have some universities here, like as I have mentioned here, but there are some best universities in Paris. Like when I say best, I just mean to say like their QS ranking is like up to 200, 300. So like they have a very good ranking, especially in the field of science. So here we have University PSL, Paris Saclay, Sorbonne University, École Polytechnique, Sciences Po. And this Sciences Po is a university like mainly dedicated to humanities, even though it's been named as science. I don't know why, but the courses are mostly in humanities. And they also have this Emile Bounty scholarship, which I will be discussing in next slides. And like this is a good option for the students who are coming from humanities background. So how to apply? So this one is the main point. So there are actually 2 modes. One is the university portal, like you can directly go on the university website and you can apply there. And the second one is Campus France website. So like every country has this is this organization where they help students. And here in India we have Campus France India. So I am just giving you the one example. This one is when you will apply directly on the university portal. So there are like pros and cons between these 2 options. So here, for example, for the Paris Saclay, I'm just showing you quickly. So you just need to go there, and because I have already made my account, so you just need to register. And when you will just log in, I hope it was. So here you need to go on new application. So I just want to only give you the overview, like how the application looks like. So it's a typical, it's very typical like this. So you will see you need to give your personal details, education, like your internship details, your work experience, and to add some certificates from where you got, like you have done some internship, so you can add that certificate here. And then you can validate your application and wait for the results. So this is the typical process through the application through the university portal. And the other one is by the Campus France. So here this one is but like I guess like all of us, just Hazik, Asif, and me, and Wakar also, like we did not fill applications by this method. We just directly applied to universities. But here I would say that this one is the preferred option. Why? Because you can fill, at that time maybe we were not aware. So but here you can fill 7 applications at a time. But for this you only need to pay around like 15,000 Indian rupees. So but when you will get selected, this fee they will be deduct, like मतलब जो आप इसमें जो फीस भरोगे, जो जितनी भी 15,000 इसकी एप्लीकेशन फी है, तो उसके बाद आपको वीजा के लिए अप्लाई करना पड़ेगा, जो कि मतलब मैंडेटरी है हर किसी के लिए। तो उस टाइम पे वो आपसे वो 15,000 जो कि रजिस्ट्रेशन फीस होती है कैंपस फ्रांस की, वो आपसे नहीं लेंगे, क्योंकि आपने ऑलरेडी एप्लीकेशन टाइम पे भरी हुई है। So this is a very good option if you want to go by this this portal. So I'm showing it here. So you just need to go here, just log in, and just give it a quick overview. And then you need to go here and to apply for a program in France. And when you are selected, you just need to do this step. So this is for the visa purposes. So here you can just fill these details, and after that you will here you can choose your programs. So you just need to do some filters, to add some filters and find your program and apply on it. Okay. So coming to the scholarships, like there are various scholarships which are funded by Indian government and as well as by French government. This one, the Charpak scholarship, is being given is being funded by mainly by both these countries. So there are like 30-40 scholarships, so you can check that Charpak scholarship, and also the Eiffel, which I will be discussing in little detail in next slides. The Erasmus Mundus are they are very quite famous scholarships in which you have to do your masters in different countries, like different European countries, like one semester in one country and second semester in another country. And there are also scholarships which are given by universities, like the distinction between these two will be discussed in detail by Asif Raza. So we have like edX, MIEM, SmartUp. So here I have make a list for you to make it easier for you, because at the end I'm going to share these slides with you, so that you can just directly click on these links and you will find this. Okay, so for this Eiffel scholarship, because the procedure is it's little bit different than the typical scholarships. So for here this scholarship you cannot apply directly. So why I'm mentioning about this Eiffel scholarship that much, because it's very prestigious scholarship, and they are paying you the good amount of money, and also it it includes the other benefits as well, like your social security, health insurance, and accommodation. So here what you need to do, so you cannot apply directly, so you have to send your documents to your for example your master director, if you are applying for a master's, or the PhD supervisor, and you just need to send your documents, and then you need to make a request and ask them, like if they can apply for this, if you can consider my application for the Eiffel scholarship. So they will let you know after checking your documents if you are eligible for this, and they will nominate you for this scholarship. So for example, and the different universities have different deadlines, so it doesn't have any it doesn't have any definite deadline. So you need to check for different websites, different universities. For example, for the University of Bordeaux, you can go here and you will see, okay, it's in here in English. So here you will see like they have different fields, and they have given full information how you can apply for the master's scholarships and for the doctoral scholarships, and they have different deadlines. So you just need to contact your thesis director, for example, if you are applying for the PhD. Okay, so this is for this one, and also for from the university from where I have got my master's. So you can also check the portal from here. So this was it for the universities and scholarships, and what's the benefit of coming here? So I would say like the education system here is very efficient and very productive, and it's like they are very practical oriented. And also after finishing your master's, like it's a kind of investment. So because you have like high chances of getting a PhD with a good stipend, I would say. And for the expenses, it depends on the type of university, like whether you are in a public or private university. So, but if you are with a scholarship, you do not need to worry that much. And this is especially for the self-finance students, which will be discussed in detail by Asif Raza. And after that, there are also some challenges. And the main point here, well, like someone will ask me the question, like, is there like the courses are in English or in French? So you just need to make a filter, or you can directly Google search, and you will, you will just type like English start programs at, for example, University of Burgundy, University Paris Cité. So you can, there will be a list of the English start program. So you do not need to worry about the language. So, but after you got selected, it's it's a plus point if you are learning this French language. So this is a challenge for now. And also because the education curriculum is a little bit different here, so it might be difficult. So this portion will be discussed in detail by Haziq Nasir Khan. So you can stay in touch with us by subscribing to my channel for now. So this one is the slide. If you want to ask me any question, you can connect me on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. So if some students they'll be interested in having some webinar on some specific scholarship, so they can ask me, so I can make a video. Anyways, that was it for me. So you can join our WhatsApp group by following these links, so that we can share some other important stuff. Okay, thank you for listening.
Okay, thank you, Sheryl Haq, for your nice and detailed presentation. We hope that our audience will be benefited from your guidance. Okay, so we don't want to take any more time. I will give my desk. I will give the desk to my brother, Waqaruddin Siddiqui. He'll be discussing about the PhD applications in Europe. Waqar.
Thank you, Azib Bhai, for this introduction, and I'll start sharing now without much ado. Well, if all of you can see my screen and hear me clearly, could you please confirm that?
Yes, we can hear you and see this.
So, hello, assalamu alaikum everyone. So, my name is Waqaruddin Siddiqui, and currently I'm pursuing my PhD in Caen in France. Previously, I did my master's in molecular chemistry from University of Burgundy in France. And before that, I was in AMU for my BSc in industrial chemistry. Today, I will mainly talk about that how to reach at a good PhD position in Europe, and various technical aspects that are involved in this. We'll talk about that. Here are my contacts. If any one of you wants to approach me, you can use these details. Well, moving ahead, the first question is that why pursue a PhD in Europe? So to answer this question, I have taken 10 different parameters, and on those parameters, I will compare India and Europe in parallel, and then we will see that why there is a good chances, like you have a good opportunity to pursue PhD in Europe. So first of all, the research infrastructure, as we all know that European universities they have more funding, they have better infrastructure as compared to India. In India, we have good infrastructure, but only in IITs or ISC, let's say, and not all people can reach there. It's highly competitive. So this is one reason why you should come to Europe. Another aspect is that research funding and the salary that you get here in Europe is way too higher than what you have in India. Third is PhD duration, because in India, even if you are in IIT or ISC, you will spend not less than 5 to 6 years for your PhD, which is a lot of time. In parallel, if you compare in Europe, you have 3 to 4 years to complete a PhD with a very good impact. You are in Europe, you deal with the international community, so of course you have a global recognition, people know you. This is like another positive aspect of doing PhD in Europe, which is not the case of India. When it comes to collaboration, I think that in Europe and in England, you have in India, you have almost equal chances of establishing collaboration. So here I will give plus to both of them. And when you talk about the toxic work culture, unfortunately in India, especially in research, we have a lot of toxicity. Supervisors tend to be very dominating and they tend to hire students. But in Europe, you will not find this a lot. You will have more networking and global exposure in Europe as compared to India. One thing which is bad with Europe and which is positive in India, that you will have your family around and your friends around to support you emotionally at the time of need. There will be cultural shock in Europe. This is also a negative aspect, but and you won't have this in India, of course. And finally, if I talk about the overall quality of life, if you talk about the better social security, better health infrastructure, better quality of air, water, and food, Europe has a plus point. So considering all these aspects, if we look at them carefully, of course, Europe has more weightage. So this is the reason. These are the reasons why you should come to PhD for Europe. PhD in Europe, sorry. Well, now next aspect is that how we can find the right spot for us, that is hitting the right spot. So for reaching to a right PhD, you must take into account various parameters. First aspect is the research topic. So when we talk about the research topic, what are the things that you must consider before? First of all, it is the personal interest here, okay? So like the topic should be of your personal interest, because this will help you stay motivated throughout the period, because PhD is a marathon and you need to stay motivated throughout. Moreover, out of your personal interest, it's obvious you will have a better understanding of the subject and you will be satisfied at the end of the day. Besides that, you must take into account the knowledge and skills you pose before. Let's say if your knowledge and skills matches at least 50 to 60% of the position where you're applying, you should apply for it. The rest you will learn during the process. Because with this knowledge, you will be more efficient and the quality of research will be better. And the research topic should be interdisciplinary, because this way you will have a broader perspective of research. Let's say you work between physics and chemistry or chemistry and biology like this. This is good, and you can have more collaboration with this aspect. Besides that, you must also take into account that this research topic has a possibility of what are the future perspective in academia or industry, what are the market demands, because based on that, you will get the fundings. And of course, the possibility to publish your research and to get a patent if possible is also what to be taken into account. Later, we talk about the research group. So when you join the research group, you must look into the research focus of the group, because this will help you a lot in terms of mentorship. Because if, let's say, your project is not aligned with the theme of the research group, you will feel alienated, and this will be bad for you. Later on, supervisor's expertise is also very important, because this will give you a good direction in the research. This will help you in publication and also in establishing a good network. Lab facilities are also very important to look into, because it's highly probable that when you want to work on something and you don't have that machine in the lab, so you will be just in a stuck situation and you need to establish some more collaboration just for this particular aspect. So you must take into account that go on the website of the lab and check that if they have certain machines for the particular research that you want to do. Later on, one aspect which not more, like some people agree to it, some don't, that the number of PhD and postdocs who are already working with your PhD supervisor is also very important. Let's say if you have a lot of people working in the lab, of course, you will get less attention and the supervisor will be less available for you. And this also influences the lab dynamics. There is a very tight competition when there are a lot of people around on the same group, but this has one positive aspect, that if you make some good friends around, you can have help from them in the project. Another aspect is very important, which I felt personally, is the diversity in lab. So, you must check that the people who are in the lab, PhDs and postdoc, are they from the same country, French, Italian, or German, or they're people from different countries? Because most likely, when people are from the same country, they will tend to make a group and you will feel excluded. You will not have friends. And trust me, it's always good to have a coffee partner in the lab, just to share your stress. Later on, when we talk about the university, people keep talking about high rank university. It is good, of course, I won't say it's not important, but more than the ranking of the university, I would say lab reputation is far more important than that. You must take into account the lab reputation and not run behind the university ranking. Of course, I mean, if you find something good, you should go for that, but don't just stick to that. And in good universities or in good labs, you have a good alumni base, as we know that in case of AMU and JNU, we have these things. And when it comes to choosing a country to go for your PhD, look into the aspect of salary to expense ratio. For example, if you talk about the Nordic countries like Denmark, Sweden, Finland, they are very expensive undoubtedly, but they pay a very high salary to match your expenses and also to have some savings. Because when you have saving, you are in a good financial health. This is good for you. As contrary, if you talk about Spain and Italy, their PhD salaries are not so high as compared to the expenses. And also you must take into account the post-studies opportunity, that if you want to find a job there, or if you want to stay there for residency or something, you must look into that. Well, coming to some advertising platforms that where you can find the published PhD position. There are several platforms, as I mentioned here. There are various websites you can visit. But today, since I'm constrained by time, I will discuss mainly three of them. That is your access, LinkedIn, and Twitter, which is X now actually. So coming to your access, this is the most popular and most widely used website by the people in Europe to find a PhD postdoc or even a job. So when you go to this website, I'll just share some screenshot for you to follow. So when you go to this website, you have this ribbon on the top. You can go on this jobs and funding tab. Once you click on that, something like this will appear on your screen. And here you have a tab called search for the job offers. When you click on this tab, you have this page. And on this page, you have several filters. You can choose the country where you want to find a PhD. You can search the European program like Marie Curie funding or Erasmus Plus funding. There are various fundings, or this could be a funding by an industry. So you can choose the filters if you want to apply for a particular funding. You can choose the researcher profile. For us who are applying for PhD, normally we are considered as early stage researcher, which is R1. So here you can get R1. And in the research field, there are enormous topics available in physics, chemistry, mathematics, humanities, commerce, and like everything. So you can choose your topic and then just search. Like that, you will have some like openings in this particular topic here. Then you can click on the topic and go on the details, that what are the requirements of this PhD, and what are the job description, what they expect from you, where to apply, what is the deadline, what is the possible salary. They describe everything here. If you want, at the end of this session, I can let's say show you how it works, but for the moment the screenshot is there. Later, moving ahead, as I said, that LinkedIn is another best platform to search a PhD. All of us have a LinkedIn account, right? So you can just go on your account on this search bar, search for a PhD, just type PhD, and then you will have this ribbon around. You click on the jobs tab, you will find something like this, and then you can go on these tabs just to select the filter. Let's say I chose here past 1 month, because you can choose that let's say like how old offers you want to see, a 1 week, 1 month, or 1 year. So I chose 1 month. Entry level is good for PhDs, or there are some level of advanced researcher or internship, but for PhDs it's entry level. There are option of on-site or remote PhD. Of course, you choose the on-site PhD. If you want, you can choose company or university here, and then you will have a lot of results around. You can click on any of these results. You can go on the details. If you go on further, you'll find the person who published this offer, the name of the professor, and the deadline, and the website where you can apply, and all the details. You can find it here. This is very easy. You can do it while eating, while walking, because your phone is with you always. So third thing is X, that was Twitter previously. This is also a very good platform and very underrated platform to search for a PhD position. For example, this is my phone screenshot. For example, you can just go on the search tab, type the PhD which you want to search on. For example, I've searched here PhD in organic solar cell. Okay. When you will do that, you go here at the latest tab, because you want to look at the latest offers. And then you have a lot of openings available. For example, I look at this one. I open this one, and there they give the details that they are recruiting PhD students. This MSCA is the Marie Curie project, so you can open it. So once you open this one, you will go on the web page of the university where you can find all the details, all the description about the PhD offer, and finally about the type of employment, deadline, contract, salary, everything can be described there. So these are the some platforms where you can search for your PhD position. There are several more. In fact, this list is inexhaustible. You know, I cannot go on to describe everything, but I have given some links there. Now, one more thing which is which a lot of people they're reluctant to do it is to write in cold email. Cold email is something when the professor has not published a PhD opening, but you want to approach him just by writing an email that if there is opening, can you accept me? So yeah, cold email can change the game, and this has been let's say valid for a lot of people I know. They wrote some cold emails and they found a good position, be it PhD or be it job. So first of all, you can which professor to approach. Yeah, let's say for example, you are interested in a particular area of research. You go on to find the research articles of that domain on Google Scholars, on Web of Science, like anywhere. And then you find the professor, the last author in the article. This guy is mostly the head of the group. So you go on to search him on ResearchGate or on the website, simple on Google Scholar, you'll find his email. Or you can search professor via LinkedIn or Twitter also. You just try to find his email and then write to him. And while writing the cold email, take care that don't be very straightforward. Don't just write that, hello professor, I am XYZ, I'm looking for this PhD. No, this is not good. You must try to fabricate a story. You must try to show him that you have done some homework. You must try to convince him that you read his article, you know about him, you learned about him somehow. For example, here is one email screenshot which I found on internet, that this guy was approaching the professor, but before writing to him about a PhD position, he described the work of the professor, which he read somewhere, and he found it interesting. So, you know, this is a very good way, because you will tell that guy that, look, I'm interested in your work. I'm really let's say deep into it. So this will kind of ensure that he will respond to you. And always attach a copy of your latest updated CV and a cover letter, which is written with focus to a particular PhD in a particular theme. When you write such emails, always attach this copy. So next aspect is the general admission requirement. So there are 5 things which are mainly needed for securing admission in PhD. One is high academic grades. I think you know how to do this, of course. And there is, you need an impactful CV, a convincing cover letter, a comprehensive research proposal, and finally a persuasive letter of recommendation. These 4 themselves need a separate webinar to explain them in detail. So for the instant, because we are constrained by time, I'm not going to open each one of them separately. But if you want, we can have a webinar separately for each of them in future. As far as the language requirement is concerned, if you are going to UK, you might need IELTS. If you have TOEFL or IELTS, UK guys will be very happy to accept you. Okay. But if you are coming to mainland Europe, like France, Italy, Germany, Spain, they don't really care about your English proficiency. Okay, this is what is there. So now the last aspect is that how to prepare for the interviews. Let's say, for example, you got a call for an interview, know what to do. First of all is that you must read the advertisement very carefully. For example, this is a screenshot from the Euraccess website, which I just showed you a few slides before. In this, they describe that what are the main tasks they expect the PhD scholar to do and what is the area of research. So when you go through this, you will realize that they need someone who can do some modeling about batteries and all. So based on this this advertisement, when you read it, you will realize that how much this matches with your skills and how you can link it with your skills. Or even if something is lacking, you can go on to read on it and you can gain some knowledge in a couple of days on this if you read few articles on that. Next aspect is that, for example, here, I want to apply on the field of thermoelectricity, and in the group of this professor. Okay, so what I'm supposed to do is that I will read his latest articles in the domain of thermoelectricity, that what he is doing. When I will read that, I will know the like I will know his main interest and thrust, that what he want to obtain from his research. And also I need to read some basics of the phenomena, because while interview, he can ask you, do you know about this phenomena, and you must be able to answer that, yeah, I know the basics of it. And like while reading these articles, you will come to know that in this article they used various techniques, for example HRTEM, EDS, SEM, SAED, XRD, and Raman. So like when you read such articles of these professors, finally you get to know that what are the main technical aspect, or what are the main tools that they are interested into. So based on that, you can go back to your basics, you can learn about all these techniques just to brush up your skills, and then you can go for the interview, because if they ask you something about these techniques, normally you should be able to answer that. I hope it's clear. Finally, one more important aspect is that, of course, before reaching the interview level, you have already passed through the CV and cover letter. That's why you are giving an interview. So go again back to your CV and to your cover letter, and make sure that whatever you have written on your CV and the cover letter, you are able to explain each bit of that, because most likely the supervisor is going to ask you from your CV, from your cover letter. Okay, so you have to make sure that if you have written something in your CV, you must be able to justify it, you must be able to give a proper explanation about it. So and also, if you're a master student, and let's say you're applying in the field of material sciences, which is closely linked to solid state chemistry, you should go back to the concept of solid state chemistry and revise it a bit, just in case they ask you some basic questions about the science. You must be able to answer that. And later, which is most important, even if the professor don't ask you to do so, but be always ready with some slides of your research work which you have done in your past. Most probably it will be your master internship or master thesis. Okay, what I prefer personally is that to have 2 slides of the same thing. If they don't ask you to make a slide, normally they will expect you to have a very short presentation of 5 minutes. So you can make 3 or 4 slides, very condensed and very concise, where you describe briefly what you have done. This is one slide. If they ask you to talk of 5 minutes, but if they ask you to give a detailed information about your research, you can make a slide of 20-25 minutes. So normally, personally, I prefer to have these 2 slides. This is what I did for my PhD. And in these slides, you must cover your academic and research details. To conclude myself is that to reach into a right PhD position, you must tailor yourself to fit in the target PhD position. So this is a small cartoon just to describe that what you need to do. And this is like, that's all from me. And I hope the session was informative, and I'm willing to answer all your questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Waqar. Thank you for this nice presentation. I hope everyone will have PhD now, because it was too detailed and informative.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we are running out of time. So our next presenter is Asif Raza. He is currently at in the University of Limerick, Ireland. He'll be discussing about the financial expenses. Asif, you can go. Not go away from. I think it's okay now. I'm not audible. You just turn on your mic. Asif, we can't hear you. Okay, yeah. If you are having any problems, let's.
Maybe we can wait for a minute.
Oh, sure, we can. Till then, if you have any questions, you can ask us by chat or verbally, as you like. By the way, we all are from Aligarh Muslim University. We all have studied there, and we all were classmates. And my memory, we graduated our bachelor's in 2020, all of us.
Assalamualaikum.
Yes, Mujahid. Yes, ji kahiye.
Mujahid here, sir.
Ji, yes.
First of all, thank you, sir, for arranging such a nice session for all of us. There are very rare occasions we obtain information on PhD.
Yes,
And AMU is one of the best platform for all of us, sir. Mainly
Yeah.
Indian students, sir.
Yes, that's why we have really done this to help each and everyone. So I think we might be running out of time. Asif, can you speak?
Yeah, can you hear me or no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Please
it's
go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah.
Mujahid, we will answer
So-
inshallah your question after the session. But
Okay, so my screen is also fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, okay. So sorry for the technical glitch. My laptop is quite old, so
Yeah,
yes. Okay. Shukriya. So, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asif Raza, and I will be talking about financial situations which students face in Europe. And this will not be about scholarship because Mashir discussed about master's scholarship and applications. And also Wakar Bhai discussed about PhD applications and the benefits of PhD. So it will be more focused on finances. And I believe that this particular aspect is not discussed in general. So this is going to be helpful. And this is kind of necessary to before you actually make your decision to study in Europe. So we will discuss about finances. So before we dive in, I would like to introduce myself. I did my bachelor's from Aligarh Muslim University. I got admission in 2016, but I took a drop year. And then from 2017 to 20, I finished my BSc. So if you have a gap year in your CV as well, it is not going to affect much for your master's application. And then after finishing my BSc, I got admission in University of Burgundy with Wakar Bhai, and it was a university scholarship. And I did my 2 years over here. And at the end, I got just 10 out of 20. That is the score in France. 10 is the passing marks. So I was just close to fail or just near, just passed. So again, if you have low score or if you are kind of underconfident that you might not be able to survive very well in French academic system or European academic system, this is not going to stop you from getting a PhD also after that. So I was really a bad student in France at that time, but still I managed to get my PhD position. As discussed by Mashir, that France has M1 and M2 separate years for a master's program. And in M1, I went to Ghent University, Belgium, to do my 3-month internship. And in my second year, in M2, there are 2 semesters, and second semester is entirely dedicated to internship program. And I did my internship of second year at Max Planck Institute, Germany. And after finishing my master's thesis over there, I joined the University of Limerick for 4-year PhD program, where I'm currently now. So that's my academic journey. And I have visited several countries in Europe so far. So for finances, they chose me to discuss. So another thing, because you have joined this webinar, there are some useful resources for you to prepare your application. First is this handbook of CV writing, where I have discussed about Europass CV. What is sometimes you will see Europass CV is required to apply. There is academic CV, which is mostly for PhD application. This kind of CV does not have a colorful template. It is more professional and black and white in a way. So what are these? What are the tools which you can use to improve your CV writing? All these things have been discussed in this particular handbook. This handbook will be available to you on our WhatsApp groups. Also, as Wakar Bhai mentioned that some cold emails, sometimes you can just randomly send an email to a professor and ask if he has a position of PhD or internship position. So those cold emails, writing a cold email is kind of tricky, and some people do some mistakes. So this is also discussed in this second book, which if you read, it will be helpful. Third is the overall picture. So this book is step-by-step guide for masters in France. So this book starts from scholarship search and application search. And then if you manage to get the selection, if you get selected for admission, then you need to apply for visa. What are the documents needed for that? Then what are the things you need to buy from India that is not available in France? After coming to France, from where you can get your bank account, from where you can buy a SIM card, from where you can buy a health insurance. All these things are detailed in this book. So from application to first month in France, everything is discussed in this particular book. So these 3 books might be helpful if you want to go in detail, because everything cannot be discussed in a 15-minute webinar. So this will be available to you in the WhatsApp groups very soon. Now coming to the actual topic, financing your masters. So Mashir discussed about scholarships, and he mentioned you about government scholarship, which are like IFL Excellence, and other country has different scholarship schemes. And he also mentioned about university scholarship. And for me, I got University of Burgundy Smart Masters Scholarship. So government scholarship has more money and is more competitive. University scholarship has slightly less incentives, but is still competitive and less competitive than government one. And then there is a third option, that you can use your own money to fund your master's program. Most of the people, they think Europe is going to be extremely expensive and they just cannot take this option. Or other kind of people have so much money that they go for US and Canada and spend a lot to do their master's program. So this is the topic of my talk. I will be talking about how you can manage the money while you are in Europe, and also, is it possible to do this master's program by your own money? How much it is going to cost you? So this is risky. So the thing is to minimize the risk, and the thing is to choose this option wisely. That is the main topic of my discussion. So there are some people in the past I have met from Aligarh also, that they took bank loan to finance their master's program. But bank loan comes with its challenges, and there are things you need to consider before taking this option. So first is rupee depreciation. So what happens is, the value of rupee versus the value of euro, rupee always goes down and euro goes up. So in 2015, 1 euro was 70 rupees. Now in 2023, 1 euro is 90 rupees. So if you are coming to Europe for a 2-year program, and you are calculating your money by current rupee versus euro rate, then in few months, your budget will shake because of this change in the currency exchange. Second is inflation, because in last 2 years, Europe has faced a lot, 10% increase the inflation rate. So again, this will change your budget, and that can hamper your plan in a way that you will be in financial crisis. Third is, people just think sometimes that they will land in Europe and they will get a part-time job very easily, but it is not the case. Especially in the European countries where the language is different, like France or Germany, you need to speak French or German. Otherwise, there is less possibility of part-time job. So रिस्क नहीं लेना है, असल मकसद यही है. और शायद अल्लामा इकबाल ने कहा है कि दस देता है हर शाम का सूरज, मगरिब की तरफ जाओगे तो डूब जाओगे. तो ये वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज में आने के बाद आप परेशान ना हो जाए फाइनेंशियली, यही एक मकसद है बहुत बड़ा हमारे वेबिनार का. तो ये हम डिस्कस करेंगे इन डिटेल. तो ये स्लाइड इंपॉर्टेंटली आपको ये बस इतना बता रहा है कि फाइनेंसेस को अच्छे से कैलकुलेट करना है डिसीजन लेने से पहले. सो सेल्फ फाइनेंस ऑप्शन इसके लिए है. So this is best suited for candidates who already have a master's degree from India. Because if you have a master's degree already from Indian university, you can directly apply to M2 program. M2 program is a 1-year program. And in this program, you have 1 semester and the last semester, that semester 1 and semester 2. In semester 1, you are supposed to pay the annual registration fees, annual student contribution fees, and rent and food, obviously. So according to our calculation, the maximum or the average amount you need to pay for this is around 4 लाख रुपए 6 महीने में आपको खर्च करने हैं पहले सेमेस्टर में. दूसरे सेमेस्टर क्योंकि कंपलसरी 6 महीने का इंटर्नशिप होता है और उसमें आपको पैसे मिलते हैं, तो आपको 3,24,000 अगले 6 महीने में मिलेंगे, जो कि आपके खर्च हो जाएंगे रेंट और फूड में नेक्स्ट 6 मंथ के लिए. So conclusion, the practical conclusion at the end is you are going to pay only for one semester. Now compare this situation with the students who opt to go for US or Canada on self-finance. They are paying a lot more money. Here in France, you are supposed to pay only for 6 months. Also, the master's program is only of 1 year. You are not investing 2-year master's program in like in people do in Canada or US. So if you have this kind of money, it is possible to come to France and do your master's. So this is something which is not discussed readily, or this information is not available on YouTube channels where they talk about master's application. So this is the self-finance option is there, and these are the 3 conditions. If you tick these 3 conditions, I don't think there is a much of a risk to go for this program. Now, as Waqar Bhai discussed, that from master's to PhD, the application processes are pretty much straightforward. Sometimes even a cold email works. Reason? Number of PhD positions available in France or in European countries are way more higher than the number of PhD applicants. जब पोजीशन ज्यादा होगी, एप्लीकेंट्स कम होंगे, तो कंपटीशन बहुत कम होता है. तो मास्टर्स से पीएचडी की तरफ जाना बड़ा इजी है, बशर्ते कि आपका मास्टर्स यूरोप से हो और आपने 6 मंथ का इंटर्नशिप एक्सपीरियंस लिया है. मोस्ट प्रोबेबली यही होता है कि जिस लैब में आप 6 मंथ इंटर्नशिप कर रहे होते हैं, उसी लैब में आपको रिटेन कर लिया जाता है एज अ पीएचडी स्टूडेंट. But coming from bachelor's to master's in Europe is challenging, and it was discussed extensively by Mashirul Haq. So here it is the bare minimum PhD stipend, which is for the PhD student in Europe. This is my PhD stipend. I am receiving the least. So it is 1,600 euros. But for PhD students in France, they receive more than 1,700 most of the time. This is the rent. Average rent 500 euros per month, average food 300, other expenses 100. So bare minimum, or at least you will be saving around 700 euros per month. That makes 63,000 rupees per month. So it is a good thing to try, or this risk is a bit calculated. If you invest some money in your master's program, then you can get recovery in PhD. And almost certainly, because all the colleagues who came with us, they are all in PhD positions. We have not seen a single example where a student failed to find a PhD position after master's. So that is a low risk option. So that should be considered, or that can be considered by people. Now, if you are someone who is not interested in PhD and you want to go for a job for any reason, you think just you are not meant to do a 3-year or 4-year long PhD. So as you can see from this graphic, like from master's to PhD is straightforward and it is easy. But from master's to job, it is a bit tricky. Reason, we don't have much of guidance because majority of the colleagues who came to Europe to do masters, they are in PhD, and very few colleagues have directly joined the job. Language is one of a big issue, because if you are in France, you need to speak French to do a job, or in Germany, you need to speak German. Also depends on your master's orientation. Like if it is an engineering master's, you will be easier to get a job, but it will be difficult if you are in a basic science, comparatively difficult. Also, most of the time, as soon as you finish your master's and you receive your master's degree, at the time your visa is about to expire, and you are in a hurry to find something that can extend as a visa, like you need a PhD contract to apply for a renewal of visa. But getting a job contract, because of the long process, it becomes a bit tricky to manage this. So क्या कोई ऑप्शन है? तो इसका मतलब ये तो हुआ कि मास्टर्स के बाद सीधा पीएचडी ही कर सकते हैं, जॉब का ऑप्शन नहीं बचा. तो ऐसा नहीं है. There are 2 straightforward ways which can land you to a job directly from masters. So those 2 ways are, as discussed earlier, that in M2 you have a 6-month internship, but it is not mandatory that you do this internship in a university. You can do this in an industry as well. For example, if you are a chemistry student, you can do your 6-month internship of the second year masters in a chemical industry. Obviously, this is a real job, and there is a chances of getting retained in that company also. Otherwise, if you don't get retained, you will receive a work experience, and that work experience can help you in applying to other job applications. So this is one way that you can use your master's program to receive a work experience and then use that experience to find a job. Second option is alternance. In France, they call it alternance. Other English word is work study program. So this is a hybrid model where university has a partner company and you work in that partner company side by side when you are studying the master's course. So for example, this is the master's program where I was enrolled in France, T2MC master's program. So if you see the academic calendar, the gray days are for the days where the student is supposed to be working in the industry, and the orange and brown days are the days where they are supposed to be attending the lectures in the university. So this kind of model also exists, and I think this model is not discussed widely in internet. So that's why we put it over here. So for example, if you opt for this kind of master's program or hybrid model master program, it will become easier for you to find a job compared to the people who are going for a conventional or general master's program where they don't receive real work experience. So these two ways are there that can land you into a job after masters. So this this slide will be shared with you, and you can go on this website and see what are the options available in France, especially. Now my talk ends here. So there are 3-4 take-home messages from my discussion. First is, if you have 4 lakh rupees, or if you have a way to manage this much amount, then you can actually do a master's from France. You don't need to really wait or for the government scholarship or university scholarship. If you are not getting that, you can opt for this if you have this much money and you manage your finances. Second conclusion is, after Vakar Bhai talk and my talk, that PhD is kind of easy. So you don't need to worry much about that what will happen after just masters. There is PhD always for you. Third is, job is also possible. If you are totally sure that I'm not going for PhD, I just want to do job, then there are these two ways which I discussed just in the previous slide that you can think of. And if you manage that part, then it might be easier for you. Also at the end, obviously you are going to receive these PDFs of the 3 handbooks that should be helpful to you if you are framing your master's application and or you are in a visa process. Also, if you have other questions or queries, you can always ask me or contact me via these contact details. So that was all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Asif. Bye for sharing your presentation with us. We are actually running out of time, and some people have some queries regarding the voice. I'm not sure. So far, it's okay with us. We can hear everyone, but some people wrote in chat that they can't hear you. But it could be because you are wearing those headphones. Could be there was a little bit echo. I'm just getting some complaints from the chat. But anyway, thank you very much. And we will share our slides with you, and you will get everything, links, bio, whatever you need. So it's not going to be a problem. So now it's time for me to share my screen. Wait. Wait. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. So hello, everyone. My name is Hazik Nasir Khan, and I will be discussing about ethics and life in Europe. Before I start, it's going to be a little bit discouraging, but it will give you a reality check before you think of coming to Europe. So it's going to be a little bit, you will know what I'm saying with the slides, upcoming slides. So a little bit about me. I'm doing PhD in the University of Paris in Paris, France, and hopefully I will graduate in 2025. I did my master's chemistry international track from CERC Plus from the University of Paris-Saclay, and I did my bachelor's honors in chemistry from Aligarh Muslim University in 2020. So let's talk about ethics. So when we do this application process, we generally have some situations where we come across with different applicants where they show the fraud certificates. And this has been quite a trend with the applicants from subcontinent. So basically we see an opportunity, we are motivated to apply for that. And sometimes even we rationalize this step, which is quite unethical in different ways. And also, what are the repercussions of this step? I will tell you in the upcoming slides. The second unethical thing that I believe we do in our application is lying about our skills in your CV. For example, you are a bachelor student and you are applying for master's. Obviously, the level of skills in your home country at that period would be limited. So if you know a technique, just write it. But if you don't know, just stop. Just don't write it. You're not able to do some high-level techniques. Okay, you will learn. Once you get here, for example, you don't know about programming, Python, and you have wrote in your CV. And the course which you got selected in requires that, and you have mentioned that. Once you get in the class, you're supposed to know that, and it creates a lot of problems. Trust me, we have seen many students who come to Europe and they have done this, and then it was really a mess for them. So obviously, whatever you know, just write that, and whatever you don't, it's not important to put it on your CV. The last thing is lack of cooperation. So for example, when you apply to study abroad, generally you do it by your own, just remaining silent and not telling anyone, any of your classmates. I think it's not good in a way, because firstly, it's out of jealousy. I'm being really frank on this issue. So all of us, the speakers, we are here, Asif, by me, Mashir, Wakar, we're all classmates. And it's not just us, but many students, I think 15 students from our batch, from bachelors, got abroad in Europe or studying in reputed universities, just because we had a cooperation with each other. We tell each other, we help each other till now. So many students are coming from our batch and studying in universities, and we even got the same university. So right now I'm doing PhD in Paris City. It was the University of Mashir, by where he graduated from, master's. So be cooperative. Try to do it together. It makes your work easy. It's not just application. You have to do the visa. You have to stay together, even in Europe. So it's going to be really helpful. The next thing which I'm going to show is what happens when you show the fraud certificates. So these are the paper cuttings or screenshots from different websites. So many embassies or many universities have just, made the policies really strict. So last year, I think last year or year before that, 15% of applications from India went to Germany. Their documents were fake. You might have recently seen in Canada that students are being deported because of fake certificates, and it goes on and on. What happens once we apply, it affects also the students who will be applying next year. So just try to remain what you are, and inshallah, everything will be okay. If you are selected, you are selected. If it doesn't matter, huh? We applied. I remember we didn't have a lot of things on our application at our time, but still we got selected. Lying is not an option here. Okay, now coming to the things that I'm going to tell you. It's really important, because you make a plan of coming to Europe. You should know things, what will happen, and what, the pros and cons of coming to Europe. So challenge you have to face. I will describe this topic in two parts: the challenge you face at home and the challenge you face in Europe. So at home is going to be pretty much about visa application, because once you apply for visa, you need all your documents, you need all your expenses done, you need to show the financial and the bank statement. Sometimes there is visa delay. I think most of sometimes, I will give specific example of Wakar Bhai. He got here, he came like 2 months late. So it was really, really late for him. But still he managed to get the degree well on time. But it happens. So if you get a visa delay, generally what happens is the classes here have started. So it creates a little bit problem, but it's manageable. The last thing is saying goodbye to your family. You are quite attached. You don't want to leave your comfort zone or your family. So this could be a problem at home. But when you got into Europe, we have to examine these problems really we have to get the insights of these problems to deal with them. The first problem you will get to see in Europe is the language barrier. So I know we speak English, we speak whatever, but if I'm in France, I'm supposed to learn French, because the social structure here, the people don't want to speak in, in English. Even though your courses are in English, other than outside your classroom, people are just going to be like they are French. So you will have this barrier from the people. You will not be able to speak with them as you used to with other people in India. The second thing is going to be the culture shock. Obviously, you're traveling like thousands of kilometers away from your home. So there's going to be a culture shock. And I will discuss this thing in the next slide, what this is about. Once you get into the universities, the education system is really high, is really good here, like especially in STEM programs. So the stress of education, the stress of the level of study is going to be upon you. You will be a little bit stressed because you are now dealing with the actual science here. Whatever you do in class is going to be the real science, no compromise with that. And also when you get here, you have to do so many things in a very small amount of time. So the semester is going to be, for example, for 4 months. So what happens generally is it's not just the studies. You have to make reports, you have to do exams, you have to also cook, clean, do your documentation and everything. And it's supposed to be only in this short time period. And suppose there is no one to help you, so you have to do it on your own. So this thing is also to be considered. The next is you will also feel loneliness here. So, for example, you go to some far-flung city in France, for example, maybe Dijon or Normandy. So generally what happens, there is no one, no elite or no Indian, Pakistani, no one there to talk to you. So this could be a problem which you should also anticipate. The next is sometimes people do feel sick, but the social security of France is quite good, or Europe is good, so it can be also managed. Sometimes people do get fail here. It's really common here to get F on our papers, like it's really common, but still all of us manage to get our degree well on time. And last thing, when you are in a master's, you need an internship to validate your courses. So sometimes it's hard to find internship. Like you applied for a master's course, when you come here, you have to apply for internship, but it's going to be easier than that, obviously. And once you get the internship, it will be really great, but it's a bit of a work. Okay, just tell you about the culture shock. Generally, I took it from, it's not me who made this, but I took it from another website, really well made. He discusses about the culture shock. He says there is honeymoon stage, anxiety stage, acceptance stage, and adaptation stage. The honeymoon stage for a student is not there. Obviously, our stage starts from the anxiety stage. It's like we are really stressed about. We have to do things and we have so many, things to do. So our stage starts from anxiety. Obviously, everyone is stressed in the beginning, but with time, everybody, you get to know that this is the only thing I have to do. So this is the acceptance now. And with time, you will get adapted to the system as usual. So what are the solutions for these things, these problems? Generally, first, I personally suggest is tawakkal. You do tawakkal on Allah. You believe that everything will be okay, After every hardship, there is ease. So just firstly believe that. Work smartly. Obviously, you will work hard, but smartly is you have to be specific at a specific time to do anything. It's not something you will do out of, focus. You have to focus and work hard. This is how how it will work. Then you have to leave your comfort zone. Coming from, okay, I wouldn't say coming from elegant, but definitely we have to leave our comfort zone, because generally we tend to, have ease in our work. Yet it's not going to work that way. You have to leave that. You have to remain focused also, because other than that, it's not going to work again. You have to be specific and just take away the distractions you have. When you come here, you have to talk with your family and friends, and obviously you will do that because it's really important. We still do that. I'm right now, it has been like more than 3 years. I'm staying in Europe, but I still talk with my family every day, with my friends, because it's important to socialize. Because here, even it has been 3 years, still I'm not able to, well adjust with the society. But some people do, but most of us don't. Eat tasty food. Personally, I recommend this, and all of my friends will agree on this point, that eating tasty food is really makes you feel good, and helping each other. I'm being really specific on this point. This is the most important. It's instrumental to help each other. It's instrumental now. to make things work here. We are by Mashir, by everyone, we are in a good connection with each other. And whenever we need each other's help, we do it. And this is how we have been living and surviving in Europe. Always think positive, which is really important, because other than that, you have so many negative results. Till now, I go to my lab, I have bad results, but I pretend or I think some positiveness. So this is how it works smoothly, and do the shukr of Allah every time. And the most important thing is the majority of the students, all of us, we make it to the PhD or to the job. So we don't fail. You get what you want in the end. So don't be discouraged. Now, the benefits, which is really important. So the first and foremost benefit, which we are really motivated about, is money. So yes, we do get a big chunk of money. In PhD, you get 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh per month. In job, you get 2.5 lakh per month, which is really amazing compared to India. You study in the best universities. Mashir Bhai said that the university ranking is like 203. It's not for all the universities. For example, for Paris Cyclist, top 100, Sorbonne, PSL, they are top 100 universities, and they're really reputed. So you got a chance to study there, and whenever you are graduated, you can easily have the job or anything you want. Once you graduate from your master's or any course you are in, you will feel this point, and this is not an exaggeration. You are now skilled and smart. Now you do things very differently. Like you get something, you feel like you have learned something from the university. And also one of the benefits is if you are a good traveler, you have a Schengen visa in Europe. So you can travel almost every country in Europe. And it's not that expensive. You can board a bus, a ticket, or a train, and you can, I personally visited Germany in a bus. In Spain, if you take a flight, it's just going to cost you 30 euros. It's not that expensive. So it's one of the benefits. And the last benefit that I will mention personally is for boys, maybe. If you want to get married, this 1.5 lakh or 2.5 lakh salary will help you in that. So you can say maybe Kubul hai to someone if, one of our speakers is married, so I can assure you that yes, it will work. Not just our other friends also got married, so it's going to help you. So be motivated to apply to, France or to any other country you would like to. So this was our talk on this webinar. And I hope now you will have so many questions. I'm sorry for the delay and the time we took. I'm really thankful for all of you for joining this webinar. Do share, we will share our slides, our presentations with you, and share with your friends also. And if you have any questions, do ask us. We are here to help you. And inshallah, everything will be okay. Please feel free to ask questions, as many as you want. Or you can write also in the chat box. Okay.
और किसी भी लैंग्वेज में आप पूछ सकते हो,
किसी भी लैंग्वेज में ऐसा कुछ नहीं है.
कश्मीरी कुछ भी.
कश्मीरी, उर्दू, हिंदी, English.
I've got a question here.
Yes.
You people didn't talk about the environment over there. I mean, how is the society in France? Like, is it easy for Muslims to adapt to the society? Like, do we have masjid, and is it good there? Like in every country?
Yeah, the religious aspect here, I wouldn't say, talking about, there are mosques, obviously. Particularly in France, the Muslims are in good number. I mean, in the East Europe, it's highest. We do have mosques, but honestly, if you are talking that the nearest mosque to my residence is at least 2-3 kilometers away, so that could be an issue. Yes, but still, it's manageable. You can pray and do things like that, but it's not that difficult. Don't worry, it's going to be fine with you.
So, you mean that it isn't as easy as it is in Aligarh?
Yeah, definitely. Aligarh is Jannat. Huh? Talking
Yeah,
about Aligarh, it's the best place.
in Irish
course,
universities, most of the university has mosque in the
Yeah.
campus as well. In UK also, majority of the universities has a campus mosque. So in Ireland or in UK, it is a bit easier, but in France, you need to go to a city mosque. So that is going to be far from campus most of the time. But there is no restriction or something like that.
And just to add that in the mosques in France, you will never get the azan on mic. So, like, this is the case Like you have to be on time if you want to pray in Jamaat. Normally, most of us, we pray our regular prayers at our home, and for the Friday prayers, we go to the mosque. This is the state for most of us. I think my friends would agree with that.
Yeah, that's the case actually.
And
And
what about the food and
you had to cook by
is it?
yourself. That's
Yeah,
why I
but
was
but you
saying.
can find halal butcher shop easily in France. That's not a big deal. So yeah, I mean, of course, you must learn how to cook yourself. But if you know how to cook, you'll find everything here more or less. That's not a problem. Well, there's a question from someone called MS.
Actually,
Is
they
France
need detailed information about specific courses. So what I will suggest personally is if you go to the university websites of any university, for example, University of Paris or University of Sorbonne, there you have the module where they list each courses, for example, Masters in Computer Science, Masters in Physics. When you click on that, you will get everything. Like they will mention that if there's any scholarship they are providing for this specific course or not. Also,
Yeah.
if you're in M2, then it's going to be easy. You can do the self-finance also.
Yeah, someone
Yeah.
is asking for the computer engineering. I guess like maybe I can add something to it. So right now I'm with one of my friends here in Brussels. So he was actually in the same university, and he was doing this data scientist course as a data scientist. So I guess like in France there are some universities where you can have this computer engineering program.
Yes, and the courses associated with like robotics or let's say computer vision. There are a lot of courses even in the Burgundy University where I did my master from. There were some of our friends who did such courses, and even now where I am, there are a lot of Indians who are doing masters or PhD in computer science courses. Of course, they have different applications, but in broader aspect, I can call them computer science. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
We have
it.
a question from UK and France can be preferred. Yes. Generally in UK, you have to pay money, even the tuition fees, even for the PhD. So it's up to you. But generally, I would prefer Europe because you don't have to pay anything and you're getting paid. But we have some friends. We have some friends who study in UK and maybe in Canada also. Canada is a little expensive and they don't pay you really well in PhD compared to
I think UK and Canada both are equally. I mean, they are too expensive. Just for the instance, I will tell you that while I was applying for my PhD, I got an acceptance from London, and they were paying me something close to £1,500 per month in London. And trust me, this salary in London is nothing. Like you can hardly rent a room in that. Forget about eating, and if you want to bring your family around with you, this is almost close to impossible. So I would say that Europe, especially France, Germany, Nordic countries, Switzerland, they're a really good options you should consider over Canada or UK.
Okay, we have a specific question regarding the hijab. So particularly in Europe, I would say hijab is allowed. So generally you can do that, but
Unless
to
it's for the job.
for the job, it's not. Generally, they don't prefer. But if you are working in a private company, they will. But in the university, it's okay to wear job. So for the current rules in France or in Europe, they allow hijab, and we have some students from Aligarh, female students who wear hijab, and also the residents of France who are Muslim, they do wear hijab, and they go to the universities. Not a problem. But niqab is not allowed, I think, in France. No?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Haziq bhai, just
But in
one.
UK, it's perfect. I think Asif bhai wrote it.
Yeah, in UK and Ireland, even your face wheel is not a problem at all. And in my university, there are some females who wear niqab and everything, and a lot of women wear hijab. But in France, face wheel is prohibited by the government, but you can wear hijab, and there are many seniors from Aligarh who wear hijab in France, and they have never faced any issue.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
How about pursuing a bachelor in medical from
Sorry?
France?
Sorry.
Bachelor in
Ah.
medicine from France. That's the question. It is there is an exam for Europe. You need to qualify to be actually enrolled in a medical field. Medical field is specific. It has a different requirements. So we are.
Can you name the exam?
Moreover, I would like to add here that pursuing a medicine course in France is definitely about learning a very good French, because here indeed you will interact with the patients who are native French speakers and who will not speak English at all. So first of all, you need to obtain a very good proficiency in French language before writing the exam, which Asif Bhai mentioned about.
I think the courses are also in French, particularly in medicine, because we have some interns in our lab who got into medicine, 2 interns in my lab, and the courses were in English. And just to tell you that it will take 10 years, almost minimum 10 years, to get you a license for doing the medical checkups. So it's a bit of time.
But in French system, like we have 6 years of MBBS and 3 years of PG. So like this is like 10 years in France because they have combined the specialty along with the UG degree. That's why it goes for 10 years. I had a discussion with a medicine student a few months ago, and I got to know.
Sinika, which other European countries can one apply into masters? Yes, first preference goes to France. So France आप apply कीजिए. France बहुत easy है और बहुत
Italy
short.
also. I think Italy also is
Italy comes to the second number, yes. Italy, but
Some
France in particular,
universities
recently
can
it has been boosting so many scholarships, especially for Indian students. So it could be really a good chance for anyone to apply here. I think really top universities, really good amount of scholarship, like you will be rich, I hope. So yes.
Would you say that India is a better option for MBBS?
Yes.
well, yeah.
Yes, medical, yes. Compared to Europe is a little strict about medicine, but India is also good. I wouldn't say India is good, definitely. Can I consider European or Nordic countries for the PhD? Definitely, yes. In life science, particularly in life science, yes, we had some of our colleagues last year and they came in zoology or botany, something genetics, and both of them got the Marie Curie scholarship. So they did their masters in Iligan Muslim University, then they did M2 here in France, and both of them got Marie Curie. Marie Curie is like the most elite scholarship in Europe. It pays you a big amount of money, really good, like project is really good, and the research group, everything is fine with that. So particularly in life science, it's easier to get PhD in my opinion, because I have seen people getting it. Yes.
Yeah, because there are like a
Lot of
lot of
chances.
work going on is cancer research, tumors, and something like that. So they have like a
Really
lot of
evolving. This topic is I would say for students in life science, you should be really applying.
Yeah, and if you talk about Nordic countries, especially like if you find a position there, and if you find a position in France, I would recommend you to go to Nordic countries, because if you talk about Norway, Denmark, Sweden, they are doing really good in research. They pay you very high salary as compared to France or Germany, and the research infrastructure is also much, let's say, much better than what we have here. Like they are doing good there. If you find something there, go for it.
Also, the scholarships for Indian students, yes, we can. There is a link. Oh, we forgot to tell you that we have some groups, WhatsApp groups. So there is links in links in
the link in the chat.
Okay, there is a link. So it's leagues in Europe, and then we made specific groups about each country, like leagues in France, leagues in Italy, and also we might be starting an Insta page, I think.
Yes, yeah, definitely. We will launch an Instagram page soon.
For every student to join, and that will help every candidate if you need any sort of guidance and help.
This Instagram page will also be named as Leagues in Europe, just in case you need to find it. Yeah.
एक पॉइंट मुझे और ऐड करना था, उसके लिए शायद आसिफ ने वो बता दिया, वो इनको समझ आया कि नहीं, मतलब M1 और M1 और M2 को, मतलब अगर आपकी 4 साल की डिग्री है, जैसे किसी ने इंजीनियरिंग डिग्री की है तो बीटेक जिसने किया तो वो 4 साल की डिग्री होती है, तो उसके बाद वो डायरेक्ट आ सकता है M2 में। M2 इन दिस मतलब उसका मतलब है सेकंड ईयर ऑफ मास्टर्स, सो लाइक ही कैन डायरेक्टली कम इन सेकंड ईयर ऑफ मास्टर्स. This option is a lot better because you do not need to, you have a 6-month full internship which is paid. So even if you are in self-finance, so you can manage your expenses. And for me, it's a very like positive investment because you will get to know about the European education curriculum, and you will have some lab experience of at least like 5 months. So this will make your good CV for PhD applications. So you can.
Well, I would like to add something to this, Mushir bhai. Indeed, what you said is really valid. बट एक बात ये है कि अगर आप 4 साल की बीटेक करके यहाँ पे आते हैं और आप सीधा M2 करते हैं, तो आपकी जो मास्टर्स डिग्री होगी वो कहलाएगी 1 ईयर मास्टर. एंड इफ you plan to go back to India and if you want to find some academic job in India later, I think this like you will be in a trouble because India में 1 year master को valid नहीं मानते हैं. तो इसलिए जो है आपने ट्राई ये करना है. अगर इंडिया वापस जाने का प्लान है और जाने के बाद एकेडमिक जॉब करने का प्लान है तो बेहतर है कि आप 2 year मास्टर करें पूरा. आई थिंक हाजिक भाई, आसिफ एंड मुशीर भाई,
Yeah.
you guys agree to it,
We
right?
all have 2 year masters in France.
Yeah.
But if you have already done a master's in India, then you want to do one more master's to get a PhD, you have to just do one master's. So that's not going to be a problem. But if you do just 1 year master's and you don't have any other master's degree, that could be a hiccup when you go back to India. बाकी सब ठीक है इंशाल्लाह, कोई टेंशन नहीं.
हेलो
Question.
हाँ जी मुजाहिद भाई बोले.
वकर भाई, जैसा आपने बताया कि रिसर्च प्रपोजल के लिए एक सेशन आप ले सकते हो, हाउ टू राइट रिसर्च प्रपोजल. और
हाँ बिल्कुल बिल्कुल ले सकता हूँ क्योंकि अभी चूंकि मैंने कहा ना कि वक्त की थोड़ी किल्लत थी एंड वी आर ऑब्लाइज्ड टू रैप अप एवरीथिंग इन दिस 15 minute स्लॉट. तो सीवी, रिसर्च प्रपोजल वगैरह वगैरह ये
Yes, yes.
चीजें इन
और
चीजों के
इसमें
लिए
मुझे
अलग.
एक चीज ऐड करनी है कि जितनी भी यूरोपियन यूनिवर्सिटीज है ना, मतलब इसमें काफी लोगों को लगता है कि हमें रिसर्च प्रपोजल लिखना है, हालांकि रिसर्च प्रपोजल नहीं लिखना है. यहाँ पे प्रोफेसर जो है उन्होंने पहले से ही मतलब वो डिफरेंट वर्क पैकेज बनाते हैं, मतलब वो पहले अप्लाई करते हैं किसी प्रोजेक्ट के लिए. तो उनके पास ऑलरेडी एक टाइमलाइन होता है कि किस टाइम में हम क्या करेंगे, मतलब उन्होंने ऑलरेडी अप्लाई किया होता है प्रोफेसर्स ने. तो आपको बस खाली अप्लाई करना है, आपको रिसर्च यहीं से कोई प्रपोज नहीं करना है कोई रिसर्च. तो आपको खाली एक मोटिवेशन लेटर लिखना है, रिसर्च
हाँ नहीं
प्रपोज.
बिल्कुल बात सही है मुशीर भाई की. मोस्टली लाइक 90% ऑफ द टाइम ऐसा होगा कि आपको लिखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, पर 10% ऑफ द टाइम ऐसा जरूरत पड़ सकती है आपको. क्योंकि पर्सनली मुझे while I was applying for PhD, I was applying to a position in Italy and they asked me to write this proposal. So
Yes,
just
yes.
for that 10% of time when you need to write this.
फ्रांस में नहीं है.
Okay, yeah.
ओके.
Okay.
लास्ट ईयर मैंने स्टिपेंडियम हंगेरिकम के लिए अप्लाई किया था, मुझे एक्सेप्टेंस भी मिल गया था इधर इंडिया से, यूजीसी का जो होता है ना. I was nominated from UGC, but I don't got the acceptance letter from Hungary professor, and I am trying from last 6 to 8 months for the PhD fellowship in European countries, and
Okay.
mainly from the Germany, Italy. For Italian country, I have to write the research proposal. So I'm little bit confused how to write the research proposal, and all other documents are ready with me, just as transcript and all other document recommendations letter.
आशिफ भाई, आपकी क्वालिफिकेशन मतलब क्या है? आपने मास्टर्स किए हैं?
I have
Mujahid.
completed masters and currently doing job in pharmaceutical company, sir.
ओके, ठीक है. मुझे लगता है आप दो तरीके हैं आपके लिए. आप डायरेक्टली भी अप्लाई कर सकते हैं ऑब्वियसली, और मेरे ख्याल से आप 1 year मास्टर्स के लिए भी अप्लाई कीजिए, क्योंकि
Yes, yes,
यूरोपियन
yes.
मास्टर्स बहुत वेलेबल रहता है इनके लिए.
हाँ अच्छा, और दूसरी बात ये होती है ना, ये बात शायद हम मेंशन नहीं कर पाए, मतलब लाइक फ्रांस से या फिर यूरोप में कहीं से एटलीस्ट एक मास्टर करना इसलिए भी इम्पोर्टेंट है क्योंकि जब आप PhD में अप्लाई करेंगे यूरोप में तो होता ही है कि जो आपका रिव्यूअर है या जो प्रोफेसर है उस लेट्स से आपने इंडिया में जो मास्टर किया उसमें आपके 90% आए, बट ना उसको पता नहीं है कि इंडियन सिस्टम में 90% लाना कितना मुश्किल है. आप समझ रहे हैं ना. तो वैसे क्या होता है कि यूरोपियन सिस्टम का उनको पता है कि अगर आपके 20 में से 15 आए तो इट मीन्स यू हैव वर्क योर लाइक यू वर्क अ लॉट. तो यहाँ के ग्रेडिंग सिस्टम से वाकिफ होते हैं वो, इस वजह से वो प्रेफर करते हैं कि जो बच्चा इस सिस्टम से आया है मास्टर करके उनको प्रेफर करते हैं, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि अगर इसके मार्कशीट पे ये मार्क्स है तो कितना पोटेंशियल रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है ये मार्क्स. बट इंडिया के केस में वो नहीं जानते क्योंकि वो हमारे सिस्टम से वाकिफ नहीं है. ठीक है. और एक और बात अनफॉर्चुनेट है थोड़ी ये कि रिसर्च के लिए जब अप्लाई करते हैं PhD के लिए मोस्टली बेहतर है कि आपके पास पब्लिकेशन हो. बट ना यूरोप में ये लोग जानते हैं कि इंडिया में कुछ रिसर्चर्स ऐसे हैं जो पब्लिश करने के लिए डेटा मैनिपुलेट भी करते हैं. लाइक ये बात मेरे लैब में मेरे जो सुपरवाइजर्स हैं या जो मेरे कोलीग्स हैं उनसे ये बात होती है, वो कहते हैं ये बात. तो ये भी वजह है कि अगर आपके पास पब्लिकेशन होती है और अच्छे इम्पैक्ट फैक्टर में नहीं है तो कई बार ये उसको कंसिडर नहीं करते हैं. ठीक है, मतलब ये उसको एक पॉजिटिव एस्पेक्ट नहीं मानते हैं. तो जस्ट टू इन्फॉर्म कि अगर जब आप अप्लाई करें तो जस्ट कीप इन व्यू ऑल दिस एस्पेक्ट्स.
जॉब के लिए किसी ने पूछा है, कंप्यूटर साइंस जॉब के लिए यूजुअली मिल जाती है जॉब्स, लेकिन उसके लिए पहले मास्टर्स मेरे ख्याल से उसके लिए भी यहाँ पे करने की.
और वन मोर थिंग इज दैट आई हैव मेट फ्यू पीपल हियर जो कि कंप्यूटर साइंस की जॉब में है, IT लेट्स से लाइक इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स की जॉब में है, और वो बिना फ्रेंच के जॉब कर रहे हैं. लाइक दे डोंट स्पीक फ्रेंच. मैं 3-4 लोगों से मिला हूँ, 2 इंडियन हैं, एक बंदा यूक्रेन का मिला मुझे, and
Yeah,
let's say that they don't speak French at all, but when it comes to working in the IT industry where you do some coding stuff, they don't really care if you speak French or English. So this is I would say a plus point. Yeah.
मतलब इसके स्किल पे डिपेंड करता है, उसमें इजीली जॉब मिलती है.
Since we are like none of us are from this IT background, so it's a bit difficult for us to give a really let's say concrete insight into this aspect. But this is, we can share our experiences based on our friends whom we met.
Internship experience, internship market is very easy to find. It's like it is not mandatory that if you are in France and you are doing your master's M2 in France, and let's say you are not getting a positive response from French professors, you can apply for internship in any European country, and you can go there and do your 6-month internship like I did. And so you are not confined to apply if you are in a master's position in France, you are not confined to apply only in France. So because of this reason, internship is easy to find. And if you choose to do internship in France, you will be getting paid. If you choose to do your internship outside France also, you will be getting paid always. So this internship thing is easy, but finding a job, it is depending on the master's program and also on your skills and other things. So for internship, you should be assured that you will always get internship, and this internship will be always paid.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Like, if we don't have so much to write in our extracurricular, like the workshops or internships while applying for master, being a life sciences student, will it become a hindrance?
I would say
Not
depends.
really. I mean, if you have something, it's always good to have something extra on your CV. It will give you an edge. But I've seen many people like who didn't have a lot to write in their CV, but they got acceptance, right? Asif, Hazik bhai, do you agree to it?
Yes,
I had
So
almost
this is a positive point for some applications, because they only do not want to see you as a some bookish type person. So they also want to see if you can if you are well involved in some for example in group discussions, and so maybe this point will help.
Yes, and if you don't have any extracurricular activities or any publications, do get, if you have time, just do it. But other than that, it's not mandatory. But it's okay. Just if you have time to apply and you don't have any time to do the internships, just go and apply. But other than that, if you have time, do the internships and do the extracurricular activities which are required to do. We can associate our life science peers in groups that we can host something. Okay, yeah, sure. Next time, inshallah, we can associate.
No, yeah. Someone asked that is it possible to get a webinar in life science?
Yes, yes. Actually, our colleagues, we can inform them, and you will have a particular webinar about scope of life science in Europe.
at this moment, we all are from basic sciences, chemistry especially.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I think if you have any other questions, you can ask, or other than that, I think it's okay from our side. But you can contact us, like everyone has given the personal contact information. You can ask in the group.
Moreover, you have the access to WhatsApp group. You can just drop your text there, and like I just expect you to be open with all your queries. I mean, don't assume that perhaps your query is childish or naive. Well, I will tell you that when I was at your stage, I had very, I would say, very naive questions which I asked with from my seniors. So don't ever let's say hesitate in asking any questions. No question is naive at all. So yeah.
और ये भी नहीं रखना है कि मतलब मेरी प्रोफाइल ऐसी नहीं, तो मतलब मैं फॉर एग्जांपल आईफल के लिए क्यों अप्लाई करूं, मतलब क्यों अपना वक्त इतना टाइम जाया करूं। अब जो इसमें रिक्वायरमेंट है उसमें लिखा है कि आप अपनी सीवी दीजिए, आप ये तो आप उसको बेहतर कीजिए अपने हिसाब से और फिर अप्लाई कीजिए। तो आपको पता नहीं होता कब कौन सी पॉइंट उसको स्ट्राइक करे, कब उसको लगे कि नहीं मैं इसको ले सकता हूँ या कौन चीज़ पसंद आ जाए। मतलब अप्लाई करना है, वो एक बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट है अप्लाई करने की।
नेवर एवर सेल्फ रिजेक्ट योरसेल्फ। कभी ये नहीं सोचना है कि अरे नहीं यार मेरा नहीं होगा मैं अप्लाई नहीं करूंगा, ये सोच के नहीं रुकना है। आपने अप्लाई कर देना है, मान लो कि अगर एप्लीकेशन फीस लग रही है वो 10,000 रुपए, तब आप रुक सकते हो, ठीक है। बट मोस्टली इन यूरोप एप्लीकेशन फीस 0 होगी। तो जब पैसे नहीं लग रहे तो अप्लाई करने में क्या मसला है, ठीक है ना। और जब भी आप अप्लाई करो तो लाइक बी मेंटली प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर द रिजेक्शन। ओके, वी लाइक ऑल ऑफ अस वी हैव फेस्ड हेल लॉट ऑफ रिजेक्शंस, बहुत सारे PhD के लिए, मास्टर्स के लिए बहुत रिजेक्शन आए हैं हमारे पास। तो उसके लिए उससे नहीं करना है, ठीक है। आप 50 जगह अप्लाई करोगे, मुमकिन है कि आपको 5 बंदा रिप्लाई करेगा, उसमें 5 में से 3 आपको रिजेक्ट करेगा, फिर 2 आपसे बात करेगा, ठीक है ना। तो ये होता है वो रेशियो कि 90% ऑफ दी एप्लीकेशन जो आप अप्लाई करते हो वहां से रिस्पॉन्स ही नहीं आता है, ठीक है। तो
वकार भाई, मुझे क्वेश्चन था।
हाँ जी, बोले भाई, क्या क्या सवाल है आपका?
आपने जो बताया मैरी क्यूरी फेलोशिप का, तो वो यूराक्सेस पे मिलेंगी PhD के लिए?
बिल्कुल मिलेंगी ना। वो जहाँ पे मैंने बताया था कि जब आप पेज ओपन करते हैं तो आपने फिल्टर अप्लाई करना है कि आप कौन सा यूरोपियन प्रोग्राम सर्च कर रहे हो, कौन सा रिसर्च डोमेन सर्च कर रहे हो। तो वहां पे आता है MSCA, मैरी स्कोल्डोस्का क्यूरी एक्शंस करके,
यस
ठीक है।
यस।
तो वो
ओके
आपको वहां पे आप उसको लाइक डालेंगे फिल्टर में कि लाइक दैट यू वांट टू लुक इनटू ओनली दोज PhD पोजीशन व्हिच आर फंडेड बाय मैरी क्यूरी फंडिंग। तो आपने फिर वो सारे फिल्टर करके शो कर देंगे, फिर आप उसमें से चूज करेंगे जो आपको सूट कर रही है बेस्ट, ठीक है ना।
ओके। और वो ओवरऑल ऑल ईयर ओपन रहते हैं क्या मैरी क्यूरी, या ओनली फॉर
हाँ,
पर्टिकुलर
नहीं
मंथ्स?
नहीं नहीं, ऑल यूरोपियन रहती हैं। ऑफ कोर्स लेट्स से कि जुलाई से लेकर अक्टूबर तक में, क्योंकि ये PhD हायरिंग का टाइम होता है, तो थोड़ी ज्यादा होती है रश। बट ओपनिंग थ्रू आउट द ईयर होती है। आई नो सम पीपल जिन्होंने अक्टूबर, लेट्स से जनवरी में, फरवरी में, जून में, नवंबर में, ऐसे इस तरह से ज्वाइन किए मैरी क्यूरी की PhD। तो ऐसा नहीं है, अब ये थ्रू आउट द ईयर ओपन रहती है, ठीक है।
ठीक है,
PhD के लिए वैसा
थैंक
कोई
यू।
डेडलाइन नहीं होती, ना ही एप्लीकेशन
ओके।
डेट होती है।
Any other questions?
We are really glad that we had a good response from all of you, and like we were anticipating this. Yeah. And since we got a good response, we will try to bring in something more.
Sure. In computer science, yes. I think Bashir
Yes.
can help.
Yeah, I have
think-
one here.
Yeah, me too. I have one lead. I have a friend from Pakistan. Like he did masters in computer science. Now he's doing PhD in computer science.
And also he did a job for 1 year in Poland. So he knows a lot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, any other it's necessary to apply for a particular university, or we have to follow scholarship program?
Well, I think Mushir bhai can answer it.
Okay,
It
like
wasn't part of
it really depends. So there are some scholarships, for example, Charpak, and for that, first of all, you should have a acceptance letter in hand. And sometimes like it's difficult with the deadlines, because you have to follow with both the scholarship and the university deadline. So if you are applying very early and you are getting some acceptance letter from some university and you do not have a scholarship, so that you can use that acceptance letter and you can apply for a scholarship like Charpak. So this would and for the other ones, it's like, for example, for the University of Paris Saclay, you have this edX scholarship. So they will give you this scholarship only when you will apply, and there is an option that we will consider you for this scholarship, and you need to mention yes. So at the end, they will make a list, and if you are selected, they will send you a link where you need to have to complete some formalities, and you are automatically considered for a scholarship. And it's same for the University of Burgundy. So it really depends from university to university.
Okay. Any other questions? We would love to answer. What about Erasmus Mundus? Yes. Yes, you can apply to Erasmus Mundus also. So generally, the only difference here is that you have mobility in each semester. So you will do your first semester, and it's generally 2 years masters. Generally, the Erasmus Mundus scholarships, they offer you 2-year masters. So you will do 1 year, for example, in France, 1 semester in France. The another will be in Poland or Italy, and the third would be in different countries. Yes.
Yeah,
And
Erasmus Mundus is
years.
like I guess like among Indian students, it's now very common, because I guess like last year it was the country India who topped that list. They
I think India and Pakistan generally leads these scholarships. Huh? The applicants are really.
Well, there's another question.
also there was one girl from the AMU last year. I do not know her name, but she got this scholarship. So I guess like it's not
I think there is a link of surplus Erasmus Mundus scholarship for chemistry students. They have a.
There's one more student from industrial chemistry who joined this program. I think last year. He is in Paris for the instant. He is doing his internship. Irbaz Shoaib, I know him personally. So he was also from this program, and his master was funded by a company called Excel Chem. So sometimes this happens that a European program they go on to collaborate with a company, and then they fund your master and your internship and everything. So what we will try to do now is that we will try to integrate all these people who are already in Europe doing master or something. We will we'll try to bring them together, and then in the WhatsApp group you can put your query, and anyone who has expertise in this particular domain can answer it.
Okay. So we thank all of you for being in this webinar, and we thank all of